Hey, what's up, guys? It's Philip Banks here, and today I'm on day 5 of the BeatGang challenge. It's to do one song every day for 30 days and publish once a day on social media, and so far, so good. Today, I want to talk about sound design, and I think sound design is super important. Uh, in helping make a track come to life and creating like movement in a track and making something that sounds super plain sound amazing. And that's what I'm going to go through today and show you how I go about doing sound design in Ableton. And here I have a project that I worked on about a year ago, never finished, um, but I plan on finishing today for day 5 of the challenge. And so far, I only have a synthesizer and a drum kit, like an 808 kit. And I'm going to show you how I sound design a stock synth. And I'll show you a what I have here. It's a 16 bar loop of a chord progression. And again, this is just a plain stock synthesizer sound. This one is a Poly 60 saw that I pulled straight from Ableton's stock instruments, and it's a pretty typical sound you would hear in any synthesizer that you have in your DAW. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I have before any sound design. Okay, so pretty cool chord progression. Just sounds super plain, and there's really no movement going on there, if you ask me. So, um, the first thing I want to do when I go to sound design an instrument is I'm gonna start by pretty much EQing out any frequencies that sound nasty. So, for instance, I'm taking an equalizer and I'm low cutting um, below 100 hertz, or yeah, 100 hertz, and that's just going to clean up all the mud and all the nasty frequencies that we don't really need, because this is kind of like a mid-range instrument. We're going to kind of use it as a pad. And so here is how it sounds with that low cut in. Here's without. So you can hear the mud in there right now. And when you pop that in, it just kind of cleans it up, makes it sound clearer. And after that, I'm adding some tube distortion. And this is very subtle. I don't have it maxed out or anything. This is just to give it a little bit of harmonic distortion and breathe a little life into it. Give it kind of a tube warmth. And here it is without and with. So it's already brightening it up a little bit more. After that, I'm throwing on an EQ, and this one is a PuigTech EQ P1A, probably my favorite EQ. Um, Here I'm boosting around 5K, attenuating 20K, attenuating 30 hertz, and boosting a little 30 hertz. And I have the bandwidth pretty broad, so, and I actually have this analog mains noise in just to give it a little character. And here's without and with. So yeah, that really opens up the synth and gives it life. And the last thing I'm going to do is compress the signal just to kind of glue it all together, and that's without. And this is with. Okay, so that's the processing I have directly on the chain, on the track. Um, Something else that I really like to do that's kind of like, uh, it's kind of a secret weapon. I mean, a lot of producers and engineers know about it, but it's parallel processing. And this is something, parallel processing is something I learned in back in my college days, going to MTSU. Um, I mean, it completely changed how I produce and mix, and I've learned how to make tracks sound completely, totally better than they were before I learned about parallel processing. Um, so yeah, so what's going on here is I have a track pulled up, a separate track that's being fed the audio from the synthesizer, and um, what I have on these tracks, on these parallel tracks, are different EQs and different processing. And on this first parallel processing track, I have a flanger and a filter with the delay. And this is just going to give it a little bit of depth and create a little movement in the synth. So I'm going to show you with before. And here it is with it. And it's super subtle, but it's just bringing the synth a little bit more forward in the mix, creating a depth and space that wasn't there before. And moving on to the next parallel processing I have for the synth, I have just a chorus pedal. And here's before and after. And that's helping create a little bit more depth as well. And on the next track, I have an S1 shuffler and a wider by Polyverse. And this track is basically helping widen the synth and creating more space, I guess you could say, in the sides. So here it is without and with. And I'm filtering out all the lows too. It's important that we don't really want any lows popping out in the sides. And on the next parallel track, I have a C6, which is a multi-band compressor, and I have another compressor after that to bring it forward a little more. And here's what it sounds like without and with. Without and with. It's really bringing those frequencies forward and making it sound less dull. And on the last parallel track, I have a speaker emulation and a fuzz pedal to bring in a little harmonic distortion. And I just have it very light. I don't have it full blast. And also a PS22 X split, which is giving it a nice sense of movement. And I'm compressing that signal, and here's what it is before and after. And I think that's sounding a lot better. So I'm going to mute all the processing and show you a before and after. So here's the original stock sound. Here is with the effects on. And without. And with. And with the drums. Alright, so that's my process of sound design on a stock synthesizer sound, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and you guys have a great day, stay safe, and we'll catch you later.